Thank you for joining me. For those who are joining me right now, this is going to be a real quick one. Just to build on the show that I did last time. This one's a little. It was egging me a little bit, so I'm going to do this real quick. Um, Shout out, greetings to you too as well. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a real quick one. As you see what the thumbnail says, I'm going to debunk the myth of of Black American wealth versus Black African wealth. And I'm just going to go right to it so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to show you what I'm debunking. So, right here, I'm going to play it real quick and I'm just going to quickly debunk it. So, as I just said this before. Yesterday, they're grinning ear to ear. Cheekway, shout out to Cheekway. He's doing some ass kissing there or whatever, but we've been through that already. But he keeps saying Black Americans are the premium blacks, and they have the most wealth out of all Black people in the world, and that is not necessarily correct. There are a lot of very wealthy Black people in America, yes, but what is wealth? When we talk about wealth and Black people being wealthy, that's what I want to dive into, right? I'm gonna let Chigwave finish a little bit. So that's the chart that he's talking about, which is a bogus chart. We've been through that already. Basically saying that Black Americans that right now they're the two top tiers right here. Self-accusation, esteem is what now they strive for. And the last three tiers at the bottom is what Black immigrants try to strive for. And which obviously what he's trying to say that Black Americans already strive for those things. And we know safety needs, Black Americans or any Black person here is not safe. Love and belonging. The dominant society does not love and Black people, and they don't want them to be here. It's a double-edged sword. Like Paul Mooney says, everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigga. So his this pyramid is more for like white people. Black people, this is not really for Black people. So that's what our brother Chigway says. So that was pretty much all debunked. So I'm gonna go to, remember, he says they're the premium blacks, right? What's up, brother Anthony? What's up? Thank you for joining me. Right? He says Black Americans are the premium blacks because they got this, they got that. Seems like Black Americans are holding it down by themselves, no help. They just knocking it out the park. So you're gonna see what I mean when I ask the question, what is wealth? What is Black wealth? What does that even mean? So this is simply what I did. I looked it up. So Forbes, right? Forbes, the world's Black billionaires with the B. So we got Magic Johnson and Tyler Perry. We have those people. So okay, yeah, Black Americans. Okay, right. So when we break it down, so when we go over here, right here, Akilo, Dan, sorry if I'm butchering the name, Dan Godi, the wealthiest person in Nigeria, firmly believes in the phrase seeing and believing, yada, 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 yada. So already, the number one richest person in the world, richest Black person in the world, is a Nigerian. So Chigwe, I don't know what you're talking about, right? It's not a long list, but we're gonna go through the list. So Aliko Degonte, right? His net worth 23.9 billion. Source of wealth: cement and sugar. Citizen, Nigeria, former CEO of the Dangote group began in Plainview process of building Africa's largest oil and gas refinery in 2013 after 11 years. So he has his own country, which is a 100% black country, and he acquired wealth by getting the resources, the mineral and natural resources of his country. He's the richest person in the world, right? So already we have a standard of what wealth is on several tiers, right? This man took the wealth of his own company, took the wealth of his own country, and he has enriched himself, and he's a Nigerian person who is rich, right? And he has natural resources that obviously everybody needs. So he's able to sustain himself as well as the Nigerian people and the rest of the world. So we already have a metric and an example of what black wealth is here, right? From an African side, right? Second, David Stewart, $11.4 million source of wealth, IT provider, citizenship U.S. So he's a U.S. citizen. He's an IT provider, the richest black American co-founded Worldwide Technology. So he's a co-founder. He's probably not the founder, but he's the co-founder, which IT solutions to customers like Citi and Verizon in 1990. So those are his providers, which are white corporations, right? But he monopolized, capitalized, and he did the best of what he's doing to become at this level, right? So already he's an IT person, and he's basically facilitating a service to white corporations, right? But the brother is very, very good at it, exemplary. He's number 2 on the list. We have Robert F. Smith, right? $10.8 billion, private equity. U.S. Smith founded $100 billion assets under management. Vista Equality Partners, the largest black-owned private equity firm in the United States in 2000. He still runs the firm, which has more than 700 employees, right? So again, his money is private equity firms, right? Private equity. That's obviously in United States market, probably other globally. It's not in any black markets, right? So we're seeing a trend here, right? When it comes to black American billionaires. Alexander Karp, software, pretty much the same thing, right? Software. Number 5, you have Mike Adengua, right? But it's telecommunications, and oil. Again, Nigeria. Again, made his first $1 million at the age of 26, and as a commodities trader. Now he is one of the richest people in Africa thanks to his mobile phone network, Globacom, and his oil exploration outfit, Con Oil. So you see the trend of what wealth is and how these people are getting and acquiring their wealth. And I'm going to ask a question at the end of this list as of to who do you think, when after all is said and done, right, could sustain themselves as a people, as a nation, right? Who could sustain themselves as far as a country and a nation, facilitating all the needs that they want and need, right? So let's keep that in mind. Number 6, again, another Nigerian, cement and sugar. That's his source of wealth, right? We have Michael Jordan, right? 3.5 billion. I didn't know he was worth that much, right? So we know who Michael Jordan is, Charlotte Hornets endorsements, right? So we're getting a trend here. Black American wealth is cemented in the European market, the American market. That's their source of wealth. That's their source of income, right? They provide their goods, their services, their names into the American market, into the European market, and that's how they get their money, through the European market, right? You have Patrice Mostep, net worth $3 billion. Mining, South Africa. Mostep is the founder and chairman of African Rainbow Minerals, a diversified mining and minerals company with operations in South Africa and Malaysia. Oh, so he's going further. He's taking it to Malaysia. In 2008, he became the first black African on the world's billionaires list, right? So again, you see the common theme what's going on here, where you have wealth, where the African people on their own have their wealth, they acquired their wealth where they could sustain themselves, right? And they're able to provide for their people and their countries, right? So we have a common theme here. Obviously, Oprah Winfrey, 3 billion, right? Wealth, TV shows, movies, whatever. So we all know how Oprah got her money. Oprah got, again, I'm not trying to disparage any Black Americans who obviously they had to go through a lot of trials, tribulation, hard work to get where they are right now. I'm just trying to, I set the tone of this video where, even you have some Africans that say like, oh, Black Americans are the richest people on earth, which is necessarily not true. And when we talk about wealth, what are we talking about here, right? 10, Jay-Z. We all know who Jay-Z is, right? We have Adobe Bio Ongusalesi, right? Obviously another Nigerian. He's in private equity, right? He's a U.S. citizen. People know he's first generation immigrant or whatever, but he's doing it here as a U.S. citizen, right? We have Magic Johnson. We know who Magic Johnson is, right? Number 12, we have another Nigerian, Energy and Utilities, right? Made his first fortune in commodities before selling his share in Forte Oil to invest in energy business. Today, he is the chairman and majority owner of Gregory Power, the power generation business, whose other investors include the Nigerian government and the State Grid Corporation of China. So these are international. We have people that are providing utilities, energies, telecommunications, and natural resources and minerals, right? We have another person, Tope is obviously another African, but is here in Nigeria. Software as the majority of rich Black Americans. We have Tyler Perry. We all know who Tyler Perry is. And we have Tiger Woods. We have Rihanna. Again, music, right? Bayesian and Guyanese. We have Mohammed Ibrahim, right? He's in the UK. I don't know. He's in the UK. So I guess he's a Black person or whatever, right? But most likely he is. I didn't do any research on him, but most likely a lot of Africans a lot of Black people in the UK are from Africa. The majority of them are from Africa or the Caribbean, right? We have LeBron James. You know who LeBron James is. We have a number 20 is Steve Masalia. Again, I don't mean, sorry if I'm butchering the names. Telecommunications, Zimbabwe. So again, we have to ask ourselves, when we talk about Black wealth, what are we talking about? Are we just talking about just having money where I could buy a whole bunch of jets, and a bunch of mansions? So wow, I'm rich, I'm a billionaire. But like let's use Kanye West as an example. Kanye West at one time was the richest Black man in America. He was richer than Jay-Z. Right? He was richer than Jay-Z. He came up under Jay-Z. He was richer than Jay-Z. And what made Kanye West no longer the richest Black man in the world? He said, I could say anti-Semitic things and nothing would happen. Guess what happened? All of his endorsements, all his business deals fell through the roof. Why? Because he was being enriched by white people. He was being enriched by white people. And it's not a necessity. What people don't need sneakers and his clothes that look like garbage bags and like some slaves on a plantation. People don't need that. That's just fashion. That's fashion. So people don't need that. Now, take China, for instance. People don't like China, but guess what? The goods and things that China makes, people need, right? So China, I mean, it's not good business sense, but individual people in China can talk trash about other non-Chinese people all day. Guess what? We're still gonna barter with China. That's what you need to ask yourself. So the question I asked you in the beginning, at the end of the day, who would you think that has a country or a nation that could facilitate your needs? Michael Jordan, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z, do they have a telecommunications company? Do they have any goods and services that could trade and barter on the market? No, they don't. All their money is dependent on white businesses, white corporations, white consumership, and they don't have anything else that to sustain them. So if they were to have, let's say, I mean, they don't have a nation unto themselves. You know what I'm saying? Their nation is United States. So anything happens where white people can't help them out or facilitate their businesses, that's it. They're done. It's over, right? If you don't like the person, if you don't like Nigerians, you're FBA, you know, I don't like Nigerians. Okay, you say what you want about Nigerians, but guess what? The real world, the global stage, not this sick little BS corner of the internet where you could be anti-black and sound like a white supremacist Nazi Nick Fuentes type person and like Elon Musk. Guess what? It's not going to matter because people still need oil. People still need natural resources and minerals from Africa. So we're going to be good no matter what the world thinks about us or the few little imbecile thing about even white people. Okay, I don't like these people. Like, look at Ibrahim Tory, right? That he's rich. He's not on this list, but he is on his way to doing big things. He has a tomato farm. He has other produce. He has EV electrical vehicles. If anyone saw Wode Maya, if anyone know who Wode Maya is, you know, the black dude that goes around the diaspora just soaking in just different black countries. He went to Burkina Faso, and there was a lot of new construction. There's just so much potential going on there in Burkina Faso, right? Who would you feel safer with as far as like nation building? Oprah Winfrey? Jay-Z? Like, again, what is wealth? What is wealth? And what are we talking about when we're talking about richest black people in the world? Are they able to facilitate your needs? Are these people leaders when shit hits the fan, when it comes to white supremacy and the racism, economic racism, and people trying to, when you don't want to play ball in a white dominant society, who's going to have your back? No one's trying to sabotage Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. They're simply not. They're just what you call safe Negroes, like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is a safe Negro. If you're a white person and you're sensitive about black commentary, and hey, we need a black comedian, right? Most black people I want Dave Chappelle, but white society is not going to pick Dave Chappelle. Like, hold on now, Dave Chappelle is too real for us. They're going to pick a safe Negro. Kevin Hart is a safe Negro when it comes to comedy. Very safe, right? So the same thing with these black billionaires. They are just pretty safe. They're not a threat to black nationalism. They're not a threat to black economical empowerment. They're just simply not. So please keep in mind when we talk about wealth, what are we speaking of? That's pretty much what I wanted to say. I think it's real important, and the conversation never really moves forward when we talk about black wealth. You know, again, this is not to disparage any black person in America, on the continent, or anybody in between. But for us to move forward as a people, we have to have a clear understanding of what wealth is, right? I rather have an oil reserve and a mind than $400 billion. If that doesn't make sense to you, you have a long way to go. I'll repeat it. I rather have an oil reserve, a new oil reserve, and a mine, whether it be gold, copper, cobalt, or whatever, than $400 billion in American money. Because once your money is in American money, they have your dollar, they have your worth. You're only worth that much in America. right? That money is not going to transfer over. It's only if the dollar is strong, right? And the dollar is not the strongest form of currency in the world. It's not. But if I have a commodity that everybody needs, like oil, right? Gas, cobalt, coal, I could charge people my price, whatever I want, right? Whatever I want, I control the market. It's my goods. I make it. I control I control how many barrels per gallon I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna control how much cobalt, iron, and steel that I'm selling to the global market, rather than you giving me $400 billion in US currency and Donald Trump doing the dumb shit with the tariffs and stuff like that, sinking on the dollar into the toilet. We have to understand what wealth is. We have to understand what wealth is. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, yeah, those are monumental black men, they're black men and women that have done big things here, but their wealth is unto themselves. They're not doing anything of worth noted for that would help black people in America as a whole, versus the Ibrahim Toure, versus a Nigerian who's there, right? That's a philanthropist. Hey, hopefully he would give money and invest in his company. So there's telecommunications there. So they have an African cell phone company, an African telephone company. That is there. Jay-Z doesn't have a telephone company. They don't have things like that. Jay-Z is trying to make as much money as he can from white people and sit on his ass and don't do nothing. And he does little things, good things here, there, and there. He's a safe Negro. These are safe Negroes. There's no billionaire in America doing something noteworthy for black Americans due to the nature of America, right? So you have to be a safe Negro. You have to be a Tyler Perry, put on a dress, yada, yada, yada. You have to be Oprah Winfrey. You have to be these people. So pretty much that's all I pretty much want to say. I said it was going to be a quick video, and I just need to say it. I just something that I needed to say, that I saw it, and it was like, that's one of the things in the last video that I did that was egging me. We have to understand what black wealth is, what black power is. And I always say, hey, look, here in America, we're not going to pick up a gun or anything. That's not the type of revolution we're trying to lead. The only revolution we could lead and find success in, to help facilitate our economical independence, social, economic dominance in this country, is through politics and economics. Okay, we're talking about economics. What have these Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry done? Help to fight us the good fight. Where's the black towns? Like, these people are billionaires. They could take four square miles and say this is going to be a black town, right? Pay off some politicians, a mayor or governor, like, hey, look, we want this to be a black town, right? We're going to hire our own police officers. We're going to have our own hospitals. We're going to have our own grocery stores or something like that. Something with the Nation of Islam. But they're not doing it. And I know why they ain't doing it. They're comfortable, right? Black people are comfortable, right? Like I said, let's find out what the difference between black wealth is. And because black wealth is supposed to be total empowerment, not self-empowerment, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, it's going to be a quick video. I just want to say that you could continue the conversation in the chat, see where I got it right. If you disagree with me where I got it wrong, but there is a difference between what wealth is. We need to have a clear definition of what wealth is. So remember, Bitter Medicine podcast coming up 8:00 tonight. Be there or be square. And until then, peace.